Hello, my name is Kennedy Hemi, and the book I would like to introduce you guys to is Grief Works by Julia Samuel. The reason I am choosing this self help or inspirational book to market to you guys is because I think it can do great things. So, after looking through the book and learning about it, I decided to find out the target audience. As we all know, this is a very important step in marketing a book, and it is important to narrow down your audience as much as possible. Despite how popular I believe this book will be, it is not in the best interest to assume it will reach every desired or expected audience. If you think that everyone will like it, you're going to be wrong. I finally came down to three different audiences: adults, those who are grieving, and perhaps her clients. Adults are a broad audience. But I find it is more realistic to expect adults to read a self help book or to turn to help with issues like grief, as compared to younger people who, myself being one, tend to be more electronically oriented when looking to fix their issues or feelings, more likely to just get everything off the internet. Um, and the most obvious audience is, of course, those who have lost someone and are currently or have faced with grief. Someone Googling grief help or loss may wind up finding this book and choosing to read it. People who are grieving are not always in their right mind, in my opinion, and may make haste decisions like buying a book that they think will help. Um, and although I say that, like, the potential to make haste decisions like walking into a store or looking on Amazon Books for help. If you're desperate and grieving, you may just buy whatever you think will help. And I say this, but I also want to add that I do believe this book does a great job at helping. So even if it is a haste decision for those grieving, it's a good one. And finally, and this one I kind of came up with last minute, as her clients, because Julia Samuels is a psychotherapist focused on grief counseling, and her book can definitely be marketed in her office, her building, or if she works from home, and directly to her clients as a recommendation of something to do when they're at home, their free time, or when they're not meeting with her. So I think there's a lot of little pieces that can appeal this book to the audiences that I mentioned before. Um, Nearly everyone has experienced loss. It's a normal part of life, and I mean this book is trying to help people realize that fact. But this way, the book has some importance to nearly everyone. If someone has not experienced grief, unfortunately, they will in the future or eventually, because loss happens every day. So this book will always be relevant. Um, I also really like that the author Julia is very knowledgeable. I mentioned she was a psychotherapist, but she's been one for 25 years, and she focuses specifically on grief. So her topic is something she knows really well and has focused on. Um, this self-help book has case studies, testimonies from real people, showing real solutions and real change, which I think is extremely important and something that an audience will find important also when choosing a book. And also, Julia Samuels is already a public figure. It's important to look at authors' publicity, their past. She is a friend of Princess Diana. She's the godparent of Prince George, so this creates a market that's already there. Um, Guaranteed um, exposure. So there's many differences I've found compared to other books like this or in this genre. As I mentioned before, her publicity is very important. And doing a little bit of research, self-help books are kind of a stable genre, something that's always popular because people are always looking for help, um, as compared to other genres of like nonfiction that kind of fluctuate. in their popularity. And according to bookster.com, self-help books, religious books, inspirational books were the third most popular last year and made about 720 million, give or take. Um, Looking through other books like this, not many are written by a psychotherapist, especially one who's been doing it for 25 years. Um, the actual testimonies, again, I think are really important, and I think those who are serious about this and getting help are also going to be interested in the testimonies, seeing that this book actually works or that she actually knows what she's talking about. The previous publicity, mentioning for the third time, and something that really stood out to me compared to other books of this kind is that she uses science. She relies on actual psychology and actual proof, um, you know, and many other self help books or grieving books, they kind of have a religious viewpoint or a religious solution. A lot of them, a lot of self help books end up being pretty religious in the end. And her book is focused on fixing the grief, facing death, whereas many other self help books kind of just go all over the place and aren't as focused as this book. And so I think this book stands out from others immensely. So I really do believe that marketing this book is a great idea. Taking this book on is also a great idea. And I really hope that this helped you guys see my vision. Thank you.